Well, good morning, everybody. Coach Chris here at my office in Pismo Beach at Regenesis 360. I'm here today with Colonel John Whitworth, and we've got some exciting things that we're going to be talking about today. But before we get going, I just want to let you know that John and I met a little over a year and a half ago, actually right when I was launching the People of Purpose. He came into our center, was referred here by a mutual friend, a doctor, and John's been working out here, keeping himself healthy and strong, and we just finished a great little workout right prior to this interview. But before we get going, for most of you that have been to our events, the People of Purpose events, and know everything about the People of Purpose, you guys know one thing that I've been consistent in, and that is that we're not a religious organization, we're not a political organization, we're not Democrat, Republican, we're not any of those things that typically go on out there. We're Americans, we're patriots, and we are about the Constitution, and we don't get caught up in party affiliation. Not that there's anything wrong with it. There's definitely nothing wrong with Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever else is out there. But people, we've got to start looking at things different, and we've got to really vote for people because of who they are as a person and what their policies are, not so much their party affiliation. Because if I was to ask you where we are today in our country, are we better off today than we were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago? And I know we would all say, no, we're not. Well, we got to start doing things different. And I'm excited to be interviewing John today because he's running on a different ticket, and I think people need to start looking at those that are running on independent tickets because they have a lot to bring too. Let's just not shut them out because they're not what we're typically used to seeing in a Democrat and a Republican. And besides John, and you're going to hear from him about what he's running on, but I wanted to make mention to two other people that are really great candidates. Michelle Westlander Quaid, that is running for Congress against Salud Carbajal, and we need him out. But she's running as an independent. So let's not get caught up and negate her just because she's not what we're used to seeing. She's got a great background. Another amazing woman that's running as an independent for district attorney is Anne Marie Schubert, another one running as an independent, very qualified person. So with that, I'm going to introduce you guys now to Colonel John Whitworth. And John, let them know who you are and what ticket you're running on.
Well, Chris, thank you for having me here. I'm running as a constitutional conservative. And what does that mean? What's a conservative? Common sense values, things that have worked before, fiscal responsibility, making our streets safe. Everybody wants a lot of those same things, and so that's what my platform is. And I hope you don't take this wrong, but please don't call me a politician. I think people step back from people that because when I go on the street and tell people I'm running for office, they kind of jump back, and I can see that. Yeah. So I explain to them that I've never been a politician. My background, though, which I'd like to get in quickly, is 30 years United States Marine Corps. I was a helicopter pilot in Vietnam for 1 year. I was a medevac pilot. I picked up and took care of our wounded Marines. I was just out of college, and I did that. Then I stayed in the reserves. I was a commanding officer of a Marine Corps squadron at El Toro for 3 years. Normally a 2-year tour, but they felt I was doing a good enough job. They gave me a 3rd year. I'm a licensed California building contractor, so I understand the building process, and one of the issues with our county is getting things through plan checks. So I've done all those things, and so I bring that to the table. But I give a lot back to my community. Besides being a constitutional conservative, I really believe in a lot of the core values, things that I've done. I've been a hospice volunteer, and if you've never been a hospice volunteer, folks, everybody should do. Big Brother, I've worked with young kids. I've helped, actually, a very interesting thing about a year ago, at Tascadero, someone came to me a year and a half ago, and they had a graffiti problem, And so I got with the police department and we set a team up to go out and get graffiti. So I was doing that pretty much alone, and then I went over to the Kiwanis Club, a great group of people, and we got a small team together, and that program is still running today. So the reason you don't see much graffiti or any in Atascadero, because this program is active today. So I get back in the community. Another thing, Mighty Oaks prevention, suicide prevention for veterans. Folks, we're losing a lot of our veterans and active duty folks to suicide. So the old colonel here, those are my people. And so I give back to my community. And the last thing is what you talked about. I'm going to run on getting things done. No one wants to hear about divisiveness, what you did in the past, what your bad things. Everybody out here, everybody here, no matter what your background is, they want to see goodness. They want to see a county that's running clean. They want to see a county that's taking care of our streets, responsible building. We want a county, and I'm not saying they're not doing that job, but we can sure as all heck improve.
Awesome. Well, John, I was looking at this ad you have running in, I'm not sure what.
New Times.
New Times, but what I really like is that you talk about core values and proven leadership and like you said, what you've done in the community. And I really do believe we're at a place in time right now in our country that people are just fed up with the political rhetoric. I'm fed up with the political rhetoric. That's why I started the People of Purpose, was to try to bring a new, fresh meaning to, look, there's some great people that are in office today. We've got some great people. There's some great people running for all the different positions in office. And all I want to do is highlight and bring awareness to all of these people like you, John, but not get so caught up on the party affiliation.
Right.
And let's focus on the person and their policies. And I love what you stand for, John, because at the end of the day, it's all about the Constitution. We talk about that lightly. People talk about the Constitution. Most of them don't even know anything about the Constitution. Right. And one thing we've got to do, and I know this about you, is that we got to govern by the Constitution.
Yes.
That is our only rule book.
Right.
And we haven't been governing by the Constitution in all areas of politics, not just here in San Luis Obispo, but everywhere else. And that's what we got to bring. And when I first met you, I had no idea you were even going to be running for office. And
2 months ago, I didn't have any idea I was going to be running either.
Yeah, no, I know. But I've gotten to know you and who you are and what you stand for. And for all of you out there that are listening today, I want to encourage you to get to know John too, and hear from him and what it is that he's going to do different than those that are running against him. And listen to everybody. We don't need to be decisive.
Absolutely.
And the minute somebody starts running a campaign based on negativity and attacking the other candidate, you've lost my vote, because I'm not voting for people because you're bringing up dirt. That is an ugly game in politics that all of us are sick of. So let's stop doing that, and let's talk about, as a candidate, what are they going to do differently? What are they going to do better? What are they going to bring to the table that maybe hasn't happened in the last election cycle? And so before we wrap up, John, anything else in closing that you want to tell the audience today?
Well, I feel very strongly, like you talk about negativity. Would anybody, no matter what your party affiliation, would say to your children, go to school, get into my dad can beat up your dad, say ugly things? No one does that.
No.
You teach your children to listen and then to do the right thing. And sadly, we have a lot of adults that are acting like children. Please don't take that wrong, but we need to set good examples for our community. And one last thing, I have been doing a lot of walking campaigning. I've never done it before, but I've been knocking on people's doors, and folks, I will tell you, in this community, there are some of the finest people, hard-working. You listen to their backgrounds, and these are good folks, and there's so many of us. So I'm just asking you, if you are some of those folks, we need to vote, and we need to get off our couches. And please don't take this wrong, but a lot of people are inactive. They'll take that vote, and it'll get in their mail pile, and pretty soon they don't vote. And vote for whomever. If you believe that there's other candidates, but we have to vote.
Yeah, I agree.
And if we do that, and we do it with an attitude, we're gonna make our county better, and we're gonna put some new good people in there. And one last thing I will say to you, I'm not a politician, but I cannot be compromised. There will be no special interest groups that are come and talk to me and get favors. And I say to those folks, when I become your District 2 supervisor, don't embarrass yourself by coming in my office, because I'm gonna be fair with everybody and look at everything very carefully before I make my vote, because I'm gonna vote what's best for our county. And I give you my word that I'll do my homework. I have a very successful business right now. I'm gonna take a big pay cut to do this job, but it's not about that. I've served my country before, and I've called to do it again, and I think you can feel my passion. And I can look to everybody and say, I will be the county supervisor that you need in District 2.
Great. And so as District 2 supervisor, John, I know there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and we've got some great supervisors on the conservative side that have been doing a good job. But as District 2, what are the top 3 things that you're going to really be focused on that people can get their arms around, that you think are the 3 most important? There's a lot of important things. I mean, the list goes on. But in your mind, what do you think the top 3 are? Just, real quick, bullet point.
The water issue is very big. I've been doing my homework on that, and we need to be fair with everybody, the water issue. But the other 2 issues that are really interesting, I had the opportunity, I go out and talk to people. I spent an hour with Sheriff Ian Parkinson, about 2 weeks ago. And I said, Sheriff, I'm running for office. I would like you to tell me what are the 3 most important things. And he said, I have 2 items only, John. And I said, okay, what are those? And he said, well, in our community, we have a problem with the homeless, but it's bigger than that, mental illness. And he says, one of the things we have to do to get homeless is all part of this, is we got to get these people off the street that are repeat offenders. In AB 47, which we have to repeal, they put them in jail for a night and they can't hold them. We just had the 6th shooting, and he said we usually have 1 shooting a year, and we just had another one since I've seen him. He said we know who those people are, but we can't do anything. So he says, I need to build not a bigger jail, we need a 90-bed facility to treat people. And they started something in Templeton, and it hit some bumps, but he said, John, I need that. We can treat these people and get them off the street. And he said, number 2, I need more deputies. And he said, I have 3 substations, and for me to do the work of sheriff, those are the things. So again, water is a big issue, and then mental illness, which homeless is part of that, and then more sheriffs, the deputies he can put on the street. And then there's things right below that, you said 3, and a lot of important building, infrastructure, all those things that we will be taking a look at.
Great. Well, John, I've really gotten to, it's been nice getting to know you over this last year and a half, and thank you for your support to not only the people of Purpose, but to your community. Just in the short time I've gotten to know you, I know you're a man of action, you're a man of word, and as a colonel and a Marine, I know that you stand for what this country was founded on, and for that, I appreciate that. I appreciate you. I appreciate your service, and we look forward to John Whitworth, District 2 Supervisor.
Okay, folks, please get out and vote, and I'd recommend that you take your ballot and turn it in person, or that you vote on the 7th of June. The polls will actually be open. Go to your polls and get your neighbors to vote. That's what our country's about. We're watching the world right now in many places, and none of those other countries that we're seeing in Ukraine or whatever, Russia, China, those people can't vote. No. They're oppressed. Yeah. And the United States America has this wonderful system, and one thing I'll end with, the Constitution has been trampled on, but it's still in force.
Yes.
So all we have to do is say to that beautiful document, we are now going to enforce, but follow our Constitution. And it's the most unbelievable document ever written. And we're going to stand behind that.
Yeah, appreciate that, John. And again, in closing, there's a lot of great candidates running for various offices here. We're very fortunate, on the Central Coast. But again, I just want to encourage everybody, do your homework, get to know the candidates, talk to them, listen to their heart, their focus, and base your decisions on the person and their policies, not just what's in the box. Because I know over the years, before I got involved in the politics, I was born and raised in a Democratic family, and then I switched to Republican, and I just was one of those people too that just kept checking the box. I didn't even know the names of half these people, but I went, well, I'm a Republican, I guess I'll vote for Republicans. And look, there's great Republicans, there's great Democrats, there's great independents, but we've got to change the way we do things, folks. We really do. You got John running as an independent. You got a couple of these other people I mentioned earlier in this thing running as independent. All great candidates. So get to know them all. Any final thoughts,
Chris,
John?
There's one last candidate. I'm a veteran that's running, and another gentleman, very important. His name is James Baugh.
Oh, yeah.
He is a combat veteran. He spent 30 years, I believe, in the Army. His highest rank was Sergeant Major. He was selected as Sergeant Major. That's like a general in the enlisted ranks. He is running for county clerk recorder, and he understands. He's a very, very smart man, and he would be a breath of fresh air to get into the county clerk recorder office. And he's a leader, and he's a fine man, and he's a combat veteran, and he was wounded in Iraq, Afghanistan. He has served his country, so I look at him as a brother in arms, somebody that has not just talked about what they've done for their country, but we have served our country. And we've been in combat, by the way. If you want to talk about it, we all hate it. We understand it, but when you've seen it and you've been a part of it, that changes who you are and how you value our system, so that we can negate a lot of these problems we're having. But James Baugh, county clerk recorder, he's a wonderful man, he's a smart man, and we have to please give him as your vote also.
Okay, John.
Yes, sir.
Thanks so much, buddy.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
God bless you.
We'll talk to everybody soon, and have a happy Easter.